Yes?
So the question about fermented vegetables and vitamins, like the new chapter ones that are made from fermenting vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a few people ask me if they can take those things while they're doing a cleanse, or especially if they have candida, because like...
Good question. Can you take fermented vegetables while you're doing cleanse, and or can you use those fermented vegetables as a source of vitamins with Candida albicans? So first of all, I can't be specific about the product you have because I haven't looked into it.
Yeah.
But I would be really surprised if any of those fermented vitamin products are available on the market in Canada after April of 2011. Because they're having vitamin claims, and vitamin claims don't really fit into the technology they're using. So almost for sure we're going to lose those.
Oh, wow.
So it might be a mute question in that sense.
But they have MPNs.
Huh?
They have MPNs.
The new chapters have MPNs? Okay, they've already got MPNs.
And Mega Foods?
And Mega Food has MPNs? I know that some of the, one of the other companies doesn't.
Okay.
And it's been a great concern. So if they've already got MPNs, then we're all right. Okay, sorry. Thank you for clarifying that, because I wasn't aware of that actual issue. Okay. Now, as far as the Candida part, in an extracted vitamin or a supplement like that, we're probably not worried about the fermentin level that much anyway. The fermented level of foods in a Candida problem is only specific for about the first 4 to 6 weeks. After that, it's really beneficial. For example, we wouldn't necessarily want a person to have a lot of sauerkraut or apple cider vinegar in the first 4 to 6 weeks, but after that it's quite beneficial. So all the friendly bacteria, and I would presume there's virtually no friendly bacteria left in a supplement like that. Again, I haven't done analysis, so I don't know. But the probability of going through the machines and all that stuff and it still being active, in my mind, would be very, very low. So we're probably not even talking that order.
Okay.
And especially because they're not refrigerated anyway, they wouldn't probably be stabilized. That doesn't mean you couldn't get around that technology. There's definitely shelf-stabilized acidophilus on the market that doesn't have to be refrigerated at all. It's just the cost and the degree of the technology to do that is fairly high, and the average supplement company wouldn't go for it. Even though the company you're talking about, New Chapter, I find their products extremely good, very high quality for sure. But that doesn't get around some of these technical issues.
So I guess just for fermented vegetables in general with Candida, you want to avoid it for the first 4 to 6 weeks?
Yeah, typically.
And the reason for that is? Like,
there's a combination of reasons. Probably the biggest reason is if you bring a bunch of yuppies into East LA during the Rodney King affair, they got the living bejesus kicked out of them. As an analogy, meaning that if you've got a street gang, aka the Candida albicans, and you bring a bunch of yuppies, aka acidophilus, into the same environment, they can't compete, and they often cause more confusion in the area than is really needed. Okay. So you really want to weaken the Candida, the street gang, before you bring the yuppies, the blue-collar workers, and the police dudes in to build up all the little condos, so the street gangs don't want to come back. So as an analogy it works, but it also, when you got random fermented things there, you don't have as much control over what the organisms in there, so there could be other organisms in there you don't want. It could be beneficial, could be problematic, but it's easier to say don't do it, and then you get over some of the issues.
And then after 4 to 6 weeks, you've killed off enough of
You've killed off or weakened enough of the Candida, so not only is it useful at that point in time, I would have to say it's extremely beneficial, because now what we're doing is creating, lack of better words, ethnic diversity in the intestinal tract, and that's always stable. This is something that a lot of us forget, that not only is ethnic diversity useful as long as there's not competition to too large a degree in that, diversity supports life. Just like we'd say there's more life organisms in the Amazon than there is in the desert, diversity in our diet, diversity in everything is very beneficial. So I have an awful lot of people that go on, lack of better words, fanatical diets, and in the long run sometimes it can be problematic because they don't have enough diversity. Diversity is useful, depending on food sensitivities, etc. One last question, and then we got to get on to today's material. No one last question? The only thing is I need one person's exam to be brought up to the front. Oh, she knows who it is. Thank you. Okay, Patrick, you have a last question then?
I'm just curious, what's in the PN6 formula, like the postnatal 6?
The actual formula is upstairs. I can't remember exactly. It's got black cohosh. And it was, if you're asking, I think it was emailed over to Lisa yesterday, if that's what you're asking for.
Okay.
Or you just want to know for yourself.
A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Okay, so we actually have it made up upstairs.
Okay.
You can take it in tea form,
So you've got it now.
and the formula is on the bottle. And yesterday the formula book was finally found because it was lost somewhere, and the formula book got sent over. So it's got squaw vine, red raspberry, black cohosh, and I really don't remember exactly what else.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. We'll later. Cool, thanks.
Okay,